Hi, my name's Lance Mosier, and this is my project. My project is about K-pop and how it shows cultural influence and hybridization between East Asia and the rest of the world. K-pop is a good example because it mixes Korean culture with Western music styles and has become popular worldwide. I will argue that K-pop shows how cultural exchange can create global success, but it also shows challenges like labor pressures, mental health concerns, and commercialization. My main thesis is that K-pop is a hybrid cultural product that mixes Western pop, hip hop, and electronic music with Korean cultural values like discipline, hierarchy, and collective identity. It spread because of globalization, the internet, and government support. While it shows how successful cultural exchange can be, it also reveals challenges like extreme training systems, mental health issues, and the heavy commercialization of culture. On top left, or on the top image, you can kind of see more of a traditional Korean dance style, and then on the bottom right, you see more of the modern, um, all animated CGI type of K-pop modern dance video, and it's just a big difference. Um, Before I touch on some historical background, I think it's important that I kind of describe what cultural hybridization is. Cultural hybridization is the process where distinct cultures blend together to create new and unique cultural forms, practices, and identities through interactions driven by globalization, migration, and trade. This blending is not a one-way process. It involves modifying, adapting, and fusing from different traditions, like to become one. But now that I've touched on that, for some historical background. After the Korean War, South Korea had influenced by the United States in politics, economics, and culture. Western music styles entered Korea through the military and media. In the 1990s, Korean entertainment companies began creating idol groups by mixing Western music with Korean culture. The government also supported K-pop because it helped the economy and global image of Korea. This connects to class because the globalization of the music allowed culture to move across borders and often more quickly. The music industry, as part of art, is a space for globalization of culture. Um, on the left, it kind of shows the spread of K-pop through just YouTube and all and social media, just how it's spread to different countries. And like in North America, it's a huge thing with Canada and the United States. Even in South America, it's a pretty popular thing. Over here in Europe, you can see that they get a lot of views, and even in Australia. But it's kind of just a global market. It's moved all over the place. And then on the right, this is a image of just a 90s K-pop band, just kind of back in the day. In our class readings about globalization and modern Asian culture, we learned that culture spreads through media, economics, and technology. K-pop follows this exactly. It is not just music, it is a global business product that moves through YouTube, social media, and international marketing. Instead of culture only flowing from west to east, K-pop shows culture now flowing from east to west, which fits the course theme. And then if we look in this image, we can kind of see 1925, first Korean pop album, and then 1954, Marilyn Monroe performs in Korea, which is a pretty cool thing. And then from then on, there's just been a bunch of other things. Here's an entertainment company was founded, first girls group, Gangnam Style, which was big in 2012. And although this timeline stops in 2012 and we're missing a lot of new stuff that has happened, it's just kind of interesting to see how much it has changed over the time. In this image, you can see how K-pop visually shows cultural hybridization. The stage lighting, microphones, and clothing look like Western pop concerts. The choreography comes from hip hop and jazz dance styles, but at the same time, the lyrics are mostly in Korean, and the group structure reflects Korean values of teamwork and hierarchy. It even kind of shows a collective identity here with all of them. Um, but yeah, this image visually proves that K-pop is not purely Western or purely Korean, but it's actually a hybrid of both of the cultures coming together and creating something completely new and different. K-pop's influence is worldwide. I mean, most people have heard of them. Fans come from the United States, all over Europe, Latin America. Many fans learn the Korean language, food, and customs just because of K-pop. Like when they travel to Korea, they want to be respectful and they learn the customs and some of the language. And it's just really interesting that culture shows that, or that culture is just um kind of changing or it's totally different. This shows how East Asian culture is now influencing the rest of the world instead of only being influenced by it. K-pop has also become a major export industry for South Korea, with like fans buying clothing and coming there. It's just a huge export for them. This image show or both these image shows fans coming from many different ethnicities or and all over the world just to all gather around just to see their favorite Korean performers. This is important because it shows reverse cultural flow. Instead of Western culture dominating the global market, Korean artists are the ones being celebrated worldwide. This demonstrates how cultural power has shifted through globalization. And these images, you just see people waiting, packed seats, all for these K-pop bands. Behind the success of K-pop is a very strict training system. Many idols train for years before they debut. They often practice for over 10 hours a day and live under strict rules. Some contracts limit their personal free time or personal freedom. This this shows one major challenge of cultural commercialization, where profit and perfection are sometimes prioritized over individual well-being. And as you can see, these two pictures are just two bands practicing, long practices, long hours. Um, and people aren't always worried about if they're all right, but they're just looking at all like the crowd and like wanting to perform for the crowd. Uh, K-pop also creates extreme beauty standards and constant public pressure. Idols are judged on appearance, behavior, and performance. Some have spoken openly about anxiety and depression, but it's not something that everyone likes to talk about. But this kind of connects to discussions about how modern media can create unrealistic expectations and personal stress, especially for young people. Like young kids will see these idols and want to look just like them, but they do it in unsafe or dangerous ways, and it can hurt their mental health. Uh, K-pop has also changed South Korea itself. It reshaped how the country is seen globally and helped increase tourism. It also influences how Korean youth see themselves with more globalized identities. This shows the cultural exchange does not only affect other countries, but also reshapes the original culture itself. As you can kind of see here, with the postcards, they're trying to drive people in and to drive tourism into South Korea, but with that, you sometimes can lose some of your own culture's identity, and it kind of gets lost in the tourism. And then on the right image with the tourism and everything, you can see that like they're changing like big cities and tall buildings, advertisements, just trying to drive people in to I mean, it is to make more money, and then that just kind of changes South Korea's culture itself, which in the end can make some people unhappy. Uh, in conclusion, K-pop is a clear example of cultural hybridization between East Asia and the world. It blends Western music with Korean values and spreads through globalization and media. While it has created global success and cultural influence, it also shows serious challenges related to labor, mental health, and commercialization. This balance of success and struggle makes K-pop a strong example of cultural exchange in the modern world. And as you kind of just see here in these images, you can see the fame that they have brought in themselves. Just these two bottom ones are BTS, um, and just the popularity they have gained over time and how their culture has been shifting over time. It's just um, interesting, but the global success that it has brought um, is huge for Korea in all, and just it helps drive in their economy and their market and everything. And, um, the success they have gotten from K-pop, I think, would outweigh all the challenges or outweigh the challenges by enough that they don't even that that don't matter as much, and that the success is just the main thing. And then here's my works cited page. There's 5 different links here, and this is where I pulled my information from. Thank you.